We go to the third inning at Fenway. You know, it's not many people who get to go inside the belly of a monster, but Chris Cotter got to do it before the game tonight.
Well, thanks, Gary. I finally made my way back here behind the famous hand-operated scoreboard at Fenway, and you can check out all of the names that have been etched onto the wall here and people that have come back and signed it, players, also people who have worked here. You've got the number panels here as well that the guys use to give the scores of the out-of-town games. Here's a famous camera. Well, not exactly this camera, but a camera like it was here to film Carlton Fisk's famous home run in the '75 World Series through this cubby hole right here, waving it fair, and eventually did end fair. And you can get some perspective if you look down here of exactly the workspace area that the guys have to use here in keeping score. So it's an unbelievable part of Fenway. Gary, I'm glad I got to show it to you guys.
That's great. Luxurious accommodations back there.
Chris gets all the fun.
He looked like Geraldo going for Capone's burial vault right there.
That's how you get in. Let's check in with Chris Cotter. Chris?
Well, Gary and Keith, I love to eat at some of these parks we go to, and I hold in my hand 2 chili cheese conies is what they are. And underneath this mountain of cheese is what they call Cincinnati chili, and this is the only town you can get it in. And it's a little bit different than your usual typical chili. It's not as tomato-based. There are no beans. It's very spicy. There's meat, I think is what it is in the chili. But either way, it's fantastic, and this is the only city you can get it in, and people eat it up as Paul LaDuca goes down the left field line. Jose Reyes will be turning third. He's going to try for home, and here comes Dunn's throw, and it's going to be cut off, and it's not going to be in time. Jose Reyes scores, and Paul LaDuca has a double. And guys, I've got a double chili cheese dog here that I'm going to devour, and you guys take it over.
That was fantastic, Chris. What a great call.
Welcome back to Dolphin Stadium. Chris Cotter with you along with Gary and Ron. Mets leading the Marlins 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the third. Miguel Olivo leading off. Now, I had a chance to speak with Marlins manager Joe Girardi before the game, and he said this team is all about challenges and meeting those challenges head on. One of the things he said is to take on 3 future Hall of Fame pitchers. Maddox yesterday to conclude the Cubs series, and Olivo goes deep to left field, and it's gone. Olivo takes the first pitch in the bottom of the third out from Pedro Martinez, and the Marlins tie this thing at 1-up. Sorry, Gary, didn't mean to steal your thunder. But what I was saying about Girardi is that teams have to meet challenges, and one of those challenges is facing these Hall of Fame pitchers. And Olivo, well, he met the challenge right there on the first pitch from Pedro. Gary?
Well, Olivo, one of only 2 Marlins on the lineup who would. Well, we've been wondering where Chris Cotter has been all day. I think we have a little better concept now of where he's been hiding. Nice day, huh, Chris?
Thanks, Gary. I'm out here in the spacious confines of left field, the left field seats here at Dolphin Stadium. And to celebrate Jewish Heritage Day today here at the stadium, the organization decided to hand out Mike Jacobs T-shirts to all the fans coming in. The only problem is Mike Jacobs isn't Jewish. Now, the organization would have known this had they checked in with Martin Abramowitz, who is the records custodian for the nonprofit group Jewish Major Leaguers Incorporated, actually based out of Brooklyn, New York. He has records of 154 Jewish, either current or former Major League players, and actually in accordance or in association with Upper Deck, they put out a deck of cards, baseball cards, for all 154 current and former Jewish players. So Mike Jacobs, not Jewish, but here's to all the Jewish baseball fans here today. L'chaim, Gary.
Well, Chris, I can tell you that when Mike Jacobs arrived with the Mets last year, it was really one of the first questions anybody asked him was, are you Jewish? And he said, I get asked that everywhere I go, and the answer is no. So it's incomprehensible to me that the Marlins people didn't know that.
And here's actually a quote from Mr. Abramowitz about David Eckstein. He said, David Eckstein gets it all the time, and he said, David happens to be a very pious Christian.
Well, there are some Jewish players around baseball right now. Brad Ausmus with